Hello everybody and welcome to some very exciting Bionicle 2016 news. The promised day is here as the finalized Bionicle 2016 images have been found on LEGO.com's online cache, and they will be linked to in the description below. You can check out a TTV Message Boards topic, which will have links to every single image released, and there will be an impending image gallery at some point which will consolidate them, I'm sure. I will update the description when that is revealed, or compiled, I guess I should say. In the meantime, let's talk about what exactly got revealed. This goes a little bit beyond simply box images without the confidential watermarks, although those are there too. What we've got is around 85 Bionicle images that are huge, high definition, no watermarks, and feature the sets from a variety of angles. We get to see their boxes, we get to see poses without the boxes in like transparent white backgrounds, we get to see images of the backs and how they connect to the creatures, we get to see some alternate poses of all the sets in their combo forms, and we get to see just basically a ton of images of everything you could want to see from these sets, which is really nice considering how long we've been wanting this. And mostly all of your questions about the sets can probably be answered from looking at these pictures. Obviously some stuff's left to the imagination, like we can see how the torsos are built and they're ridiculously complex, but we can't see how specifically they're constructed. But you know, it's mostly evident from these images. A couple things worth noting. There is a new eyepiece, new brain stalk, and it's much like the one that was introduced later on in Bionicle G1's run, where it was shortened to where it didn't protrude out the back of the head. It's kind of the same deal here. And what I guess this is for is I guess the mask function was not well received, or they just had no intentions of carrying it past the first year or so where they hit the back of the head and the mask comes off, because yeah, it's pretty much gone. And personally, I'm glad, because, like, don't get me wrong, it will still function that way, I believe. It's just harder to hit the mask off, but I would imagine you can still pry it off just as easily. And the masks obviously haven't been tightened, probably. You just can't knock it off, which is fine by me because it was kind of superfluous. You were rarely in a position where you could knock off one of the masks by hitting the back of the head anyway. All it did was create a bunch of unnecessary problems where the masks would pop off at random, so, you know. It's fine, not every function has to be super successful. As far as other things worth noting, I will be the first to publicly admit that I was wrong in saying that the Mask of Control has the Matanui emblem on the front of the face. It begs the question of whether that will remain in the story or not, but in the plastic form of the mask, it does not. And as you'll see, because tomorrow we're releasing TTV 170 on Vessel, not tomorrow, today, what am I saying? We had an in-depth discussion about this that's now been rendered completely irrelevant, so you can just laugh at me and how I kept saying stuff with certainty. Some other things worth noting, I guess, it's really just stuff we've all talked about before that's good to see confirmed, but I'll just like run down some of the list. Onua has a bunch of new parts in transparent purple, so that's cool. His torso is ridiculously complex. You can see Umarak has the ability to combine with all of the creatures, and he has his separate modes for all of them, and he looks specifically fantastic with Uxar, gotta say. Really brings out his profile in an imposing way. He just looks huge and like a great villain when he's combined with Uxar, to the point where I actually think I'm going to keep him that way, and not even bother with combining Uxar with Liwa, because Liwa looks fine as is. Pretty much the main points of interest with these pictures, admittedly, are the torso designs, because I cannot state enough how awesome these look. Time will tell if it's just complexity for complexity's sake and how good the waist function actually is, but it's cool now that they've integrated fully custom torsos and a gear function of some kind, even though, you know, I'll be honest, I kind of prefer the arm gear function over the waist gear function, but it makes sense for this wave because they all have these really long weapons that work better in a swiping motion side to side than they would in an up and down motions, like Onua with his two-handed warhammer. If that was a regular arm-based gear function, he wouldn't be able to use that in that way. He would be without a function. But the fact that this function is a waist function enables him to swing it side to side and actually get some use out of it. So I can understand the pros and the cons in that particular instance. I'm going to stop talking at length because obviously you guys are going to want to analyze them yourself. I'm not going to ruin that experience for you. Just, post all your observations about these first wave of 2016 Bionicle sets in the comments below or on the TTV Message Boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. And stay tuned for the inevitable podcast episode where we discuss these at length. But I'm actually not sure when that's going to come out. So that being said, thank you very much for watching. I'm Mesonak. And I'll see you guys next time for some more exciting Bionicle 2016 news. Goodbye.